All right, guys, it has been, well, how many months has it been now? Got my Tesla in November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It has been 10 months since I got my Tesla Model Y long range 2023 model in all black. And I just wanted to give you all an update. I've been making a lot of content here on the channel about this car, whether it's been companies reaching out to do floor mats or mud flaps. I've been doing videos on this channel just showcasing things you can get for Teslas, which has been really cool. Thank you guys for watching these videos because it allows me to have opportunities like that to really test out a bunch of accessories out there. But really, I just want to go over my pros and cons of owning a Tesla, a 2023 Model Y to be specific, and just go over what 4,000 miles in this car has been like and if there's any major issues, which obviously there's issues. Any single car you get is not going to be perfect, and I want to go over those issues and discuss why you maybe should consider a Tesla if you're watching this video, or why you shouldn't consider one. Now, first up, again, as I mentioned, I have only driven this car a little over 4,000 miles in 10 months that I've had it. Obviously, I'm not a very long commuter. My office is very close to my house, so I don't have to do a ton of driving. But in the time that I have driven it, I have done one long trip. The longest trip I've actually taken this car in is about an hour and a half drive. Again, you can see why there's only 4,000 miles on this thing. And I took that drive to Lexington from Louisville and back, and everything was fine. I would honestly say the longest drive I actually took in this thing was bringing it back from Cincinnati when I picked it up. And in that time, it was fine. The only question I still have in my Tesla experience, and I will be testing that here in a couple weeks, depending on when you see this video, I may or may not be on that journey right now. I'm going to be heading to Orange Beach, Alabama for a vacation, and we're going to be taking this thing mainly out of curiosity. I want to see what the Tesla charging network is like and really test that, and there most likely will be some content on that experience, whether it's good, bad, or just downright ugly. You'll know about it. In terms of this car, absolutely love it. In terms of the whole Tesla experience, I really can't complain too much. To be fair, I am coming from a 1995 Jeep Cherokee. That was my first car when I was 16, and I used that car all the way up until, well, 10 months ago when I got this Tesla. I don't have an in-between in terms of like knowledge of what newer modern like gas-powered cars are like. I have rented cars before and had that experience, but I haven't personally owned any. But with this Tesla, I've really enjoyed it. Now, I do have a Tesla charger installed in my house, which I think is very important. If you don't have a Tesla charger installed in your house or a place where you can charge at home, I really think it diminishes the value of owning a Tesla. I think the biggest perk is not having to worry about filling up the gas station, going home at night, saving a bit of money when you're actually charging it up instead of going to a gas station. I think my savings for the year has totaled about $500 versus gas when counting the electricity costs that I'm using at home and on superchargers, which, to be fair, I've used a supercharger twice when I took it to Lexington and, well, when they used it in Cincinnati. I personally will use one once. And with that in mind, I saved a good amount of money there, but obviously we're talking about a pretty pricey car. But you know, I would say that if prices weren't dramatically dropping on Teslas right now, that's what I would say is the biggest con, but that has nothing really to do with the car itself, is I bought this car at its peak pricing, which I'm glad I love it because I'm definitely going to be sticking with it. I have definitely spent more money than most people will to get into a Tesla now, considering all the new tax rebates, all the discounts and whatnot. I'm not complaining too much. I absolutely love the car, and at the end of the day, I have the car that I love, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to keep driving it until the wheels fall off, considering I came from a 1995 Jeep Cherokee. I'm going to keep driving this thing until I absolutely can't charge it up anymore. Now, I haven't experienced any major bugs or anything when driving the car. Driving around in a Tesla is a very fast, very cool experience. Everyone who's gotten in the car with me has absolutely enjoyed the experience. I will say, a lot of people say that Teslas have really cheap build quality, and there are some points in this vehicle that I'm like, you know, that probably could be a little more premium. There's certain things that I'm just like, you know, that's not that great. Like I have my speaker right here that has a little bit of an imperfection where the actual like sealant is on how it's like mounted in there. There's little imperfections here and there that I could complain about the Tesla, but in reality, it doesn't bother me all that much. But I don't really feel the need to nitpick on the interior details and stuff like that. That's not for me, but if you're someone coming from a vehicle that has really nice build quality, it's something to keep in mind. You might see a drop off, and it's something you have to consider whether or not that's worth it or not for you to switch to a Tesla. Now, one thing that I did get that feels very premium about this car is the all black paint design. And I will say, with the all black paint design, it is a hassle to keep clean. It is a absolute pain. And if, again, you're somebody who's very particular, you need to be very careful with this car. And I don't like saying that about a car that's my daily driver, being very, very careful. And if you are somebody who really cares about making sure your car looks absolutely pristine, you definitely need to get a paint protection film put on this thing as soon as you buy it. I personally didn't do that because, well, I just felt like I didn't care too much. And in reality, I still don't care too much. I've kind of had the mindset of, I'm going to use this car until the wheels fall off. I don't really care about resale value. I'm just going to get this car, enjoy it, keep it clean the best I can. And if I get some scratches here and there, I get scratches here and there. And if it gets too bad, I'll pay for a vinyl wrap and do something different with this car and just enjoy it in a different little design. So if you have that mindset, don't worry about getting the film. But if you're someone who wants to keep the all black design as perfect as possible for as long as possible, you most definitely want to consider getting that film, pay for that, get installed, and you won't be worried about little rocks and bumps here. I will say the versatility of an electric vehicle is really cool. I love all the cool features that you normally would kind of say frown upon when it comes to normal gas powered vehicles. For example, I took this car to a local quarry that had a nice big open area where we could pull our car up and park in like a VIP spot. You'll see some footage on screen of me doing that. And I was able to actually leave my trunk open, use the car as speakers, put it in what's called camp mode, which allows you to basically have AC or heat running to keep things nice and cool if you were to camp in the back of the car, which I do want to try one time, by the way. I'll try to keep an updated video on that if I do take this thing camping, and just be able to run AC and stuff. So during a hot summer day while we're at that quarry, I was able to sit by the Tesla with the AC coming out, and I was able to use the speakers, the air conditioning and everything, and kind of take my overall outdoor experience to the next level. And it really didn't hurt my range all that much. Yes, it does hurt your range a bit when you are blasting the AC and everything, but in simple terms, it's not something that I ever really was worried about. That may change when I do the road trip here in a bit, and you'll see a video on that. It may be a total disaster. I'm going to be like, well, you should get a Tesla, but keep it for local only and not long journeys. But we're not there yet. We'll talk about that in a later video. Based on my experience in driving around, at the furthest distance I've drove is probably like 60 to 70 miles forward and back. It's been a really good experience thus far. I have had some weird issues that I will mention because obviously I want to mention all the issues that I have with this vehicle. The one issue I did have is the premium connectivity that comes with the car. I've had some issues where I leave my house after being connected to the Wi-Fi, and it takes absolutely forever for the Tesla to realize that I'm not on Wi-Fi and start loading applications. Not sure if that's a common problem. There are times I literally am driving down the street to my office, and by the time I get to my office, it realizes, oh, I'm not on Wi-Fi. I should probably switch to the premium connectivity, and it tries to load up my music then. It takes absolutely forever, and considering I have a short commute, I'm like, well, I'm already here now. I don't have any music to listen to. It's whatever. But I've noticed Bluetooth is incredibly seamless for playing my podcast. I haven't played a ton of games on my display over here, but there are times that I've sat in the parking lot for a while for something and played 2048 with my finger on the touchscreen, and it's just kind of cool. It's just cool that that exists. Normally when you're just fiddling on your phone, just sitting there waiting for drive-through or something like that, you could just mess with a big old touchscreen, taking an AC break. It is incredibly hot out here, so I have no idea what this sounds like, but we're gonna let the AC run a little bit. And while the AC is running, I'm gonna talk about the AC. So I apologize if you hear some AC noise in the background. The AC is fine. I do not like the vent design where it's just like a super seamless hidden design. I really wish they had individual controllable vents. I know my girlfriend has had issues being the passenger and just saying there's just not enough airflow directly in my face. For people who really like air hitting their face while you're driving, it doesn't really feel like that much. And I will say the increments are a little bit aggressive. Once you hit level 5, 6, and 7, there's a dramatic jump from level 5 to 7 to where it's just blowing incredibly hard. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4 really feel like no air is coming out at all, like a very little difference. That could just be me coming from cars that have really great AC that just blasts in your face. But from my experience, it's definitely one of those things where I wish it would be better. It does a good job adequately cooling the car, but in the long run, I just wish I had more control over the aesthetic design. I think the design is cool, but I really would have rather had vents. And there goes the AC. Hopefully that didn't sound too bad. If it didn't sound too bad, I'm going to beat myself up for turning it off for this video to make the audio sound good. But one thing about the heat, this right here, this, well, sunroof, or basically just big glass panel that is above you, is really cool. It's a really cool experience if someone gets in your car and they look up and they're like, wow, I can see up into the sky and all this and that. But I will say on a hot summer day, depends on how hot your climate is, it makes the car very hot. And on top of that, using overheat protection in the car where it blasts a little bit of AC while you're well parked to make sure that nothing overheats in the car, it will drain your battery a bit. I've had times I'm at the office and I lose like 5 to 6% of range with it just sitting there, no Sentry mode on or anything, and it's just using the overheat protection because there's so much sun, no matter how tinted this is getting into the car. So I did purchase a shield that will go across the top of this thing, basically a cover that I'm going to use for our road trip to hopefully maximize efficiency so we can keep the AC nice and low. We don't have to crank that thing and really ruin our overall range and get to a situation where I have 2 to 3% and I'm racing to a supercharger. That is the only downside of this thing. I think in the winter and fall, it's absolutely awesome. But if you live in a climate that is really warm, you do feel a little pocket of heat right here on the top of your head, and it makes you feel like you have to crank the AC a bit more. In terms of storage, I really love all the storage in this car. I've never been in a situation where I don't have any room in my car to fit something that I'm picking up. Obviously, it's no pickup truck or anything, but there is a lot of room with the seats folded down to be able to fit a lot of different objects in the car. And then the frunk is something that I'm going to say it's kind of controversial. I don't use it. Like, I've used it maybe once, and I use it as a joke to basically put food that I didn't want my car to smell like in the frunk, and I was just driving a short distance. We put like Taco Bell in the frunk, and I don't use it that much. I most definitely will use it probably on this vacation road trip that we're gonna be going on, but on my daily use, I just don't use it that much, and I find the normal trunk to be just as convenient. So come after me if a lot of people absolutely love using the frunk. I personally just don't love using the frunk. But yeah, that is the main recap of 4,000 miles with my Tesla. Obviously, I've just been using it as a daily commuter to my job that is literally like less than 10 minutes away from here. Going to get groceries that are literally 10 minutes away from here, and going on the occasional weekend trip that is to Lexington, or well, that's pretty much it. That's all I've taken to is Lexington. So as I drive it more and go on longer road trips and stuff, I'll have much more to tell about this car. But in reality, I've been incredibly happy with it. It's definitely been a great upgrade to my daily driving experience. I love having a car that I can drive that I don't feel worried about anymore. And again, coming from a 95 Jeep that I was always worried was going to break down on me and has broken down on me many times, just getting a newer car, an electric vehicle that doesn't have any maintenance or anything, because I burn myself out going to the mechanic with my older car. It's just a life-changing experience for me, and something that I really don't know if I can ever go back to. I think I'm always going to be involved in electric vehicles. My girlfriend's always going to have a gas-powered car. That would be the car we deal with maintenance-wise. And then for me, daily driving, I just love this Tesla, and I don't really see myself switching from Tesla unless something new and big comes out on the market. So let me know what you think of my 4,000 miles / 10-month review of my Tesla Model Y 2023. I think it's a really cool car. If you are considering a Tesla, check the link in the description down below. I may or may not have the referral program link there. I never set up any of that for my other videos, but I think I'm going to start doing that because I kind of want some of those rewards. If you guys want to sign up and buy a Tesla, check the link in the description down below. But let me know what your pros and cons are of your Tesla experience, or what is holding you back from getting one. Right now, I think the prices are really good. Even on the used market, the prices are really good. So I think you can get some really good value for your money. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy Tesla content. If there's any other Tesla content you see here on the channel, let me know down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.